I'm gonna record that. What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Casey and Michelle, and we are talking about episode 3 of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. And that giggle from me at the beginning is because Michelle has issues with Casey's username. Casey has now Thorne gotta die on her screen name. Why Thorne gotta die?
Dare she threaten Dana, Michonne? How dare her? You was gonna pull your knife? First of all, that wouldn't have got far. You probably would have got one swing in before she took you down. Second of all, girl,
I know you was feeling some
if
kind
you
of
gonna
way.
question Rick, but you pulled your gun out. Oh, I was gonna protect you.
Right.
Damn, he was gonna kill your ass.
And she tried it twice. She tried it twice. Twice.
She trying to help you kill these goddamn walkers with your little machine that got stuck on the little hole, and she helped you out. And you fixing your gun on her?
Because Thorne been drinking that Kool-Aid. See,
gonna die.
See, I need to know what's in this echelon briefing, because now Thorne is like full flesh. She was like, I see what they're trying to do. I see what it is. And she was telling Rick, she was like, I'm not Okafor, meaning I'm not about to give your ass the same amount of chances that he gave you. I need to know what's in that echelon briefing.
I do too. And I feel like it's lies. Just lies.
First.
That's what I feel like. They drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm sorry. They drinking the Kool-Aid.
I mean, what even Jada said at the beginning, at the beginning of the episode, we see years ago, and this is the first time Jadis and Rick have seen each other since Rick has been brought there. And she tells him, she was like, I am a firm believer they have a 500-year plan for, what this place is going to be. They're going to rebuild the world and make it better. Our children's children, or your children's children, or their children's children will be able to live without the dead walking. So I need to know what this plan is. And I almost feel like I have heard somebody say something about that 500-year plan before when it comes to the CRM. And I don't know if it was in Fear the Walking Dead when Al and Isabel were talking. I think her name is Isabel. I don't remember if it was then, but I really feel like I have heard this before. So now I'm like, I need to know what this is. Or maybe I might have heard it in World Beyond. Jadis might have said something back then too, but I need to know what it is, because Jadis is full-fledged. Like, we start out the episode, with the continuation of the conversation after Jadis broke into Rick's apartment. And she's basically like, you can't leave together. She was like, if you leave together, I have to be the ones to go and find you. And I'm going to have to make sure everybody you love is dead. Mm-hmm. Because if y'all escape, if y'all are the first people to ever escape this place, the blowback is going to come back on me, because I brought you in, you brought her in. And I get it for Jadis. It's going to look a little suspect.
It will. It will.
But you talking about killing all of those people just to save your skin? And you saw Rick was desperate. Rick was crying. He was begging her. He was like, look, she doesn't belong here. Well, she shouldn't have came to find you.
I know.
Bitch, what about Michonne made you ever think that if there was an inkling of proof that Rick was alive, that she wouldn't come? Now, I realized Jadis doesn't know. I realized Jadis doesn't know what was out there. But you even said it. You and her together, like, I knew you wouldn't be able to escape on your own. You and her together, oh, that's a whole different thing. You can accomplish anything. So, bitch, what makes you think threatening him?
I know. That was my favorite part, though, because he was like, but what changed? Man, you two together, y'all make magic.
That's basically what she said.
Yeah, like anything is possible when you two are together. I love it.
Because he was like, all the other times I said I was escaping, you didn't have no problem. She said,
you're like,
you weren't going to be able to get out. So what changed?
You and her
together? Oh, y'all can accomplish anything. Oh, so basically you just gave him, well, I won't say you gave him the motivation to do what he needs to do, because he has motivation. Mm-hmm. but it
He's
has
trying
to
to keep her safe no matter what.
He has
Right,
to. And then
and
once he finds out that she's on Bill's radar, he was like, "Oh, I got to get her out of here."
yeah, but I feel like this is a Rick that we have seen before, who is cautious and like, oh, I'm trying to save people. Not the Rick that was like when he went into that trailer and he was like, we about to fuck things up.
This is Rick after the Saviors.
Right. You just so like, I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna stay here. And I love Michonne is looking at him like, bitch, please. Okay.
That ain't the word she had in her mind.
No.
Because you see, she couldn't say what she wanted to say
because Rick ain't black. But you know what she was
right.
thinking.
That's why I put, oh no, you didn't.
Excuse me?
No, you are not gonna do this. After all this hard work, you better get your shit together.
You actually think I'm just gonna leave you here?
Right.
Sir, it do not work like that.
But the thing that's really getting me, and I understand he doesn't have a lot of time, and once Thorne gets promoted, and then he finds out that Michonne is already on Bill's radar, I know that panics him, and he's like, okay, I got to get her out. But in all these communications, these little secret meetings, which we haven't seen a lot, and I know there's not a lot of time, but I need you to tell her what the threat is. Jadis is here. Jadis is the one who brought me in, and she has threatened to go kill everyone if I try to leave. I can at least get you out of here. You could have wrote that in that extensive letter you wrote her telling her how y'all were going to escape. You could have told her something. You're on their radar. They already suspect that you're your life is being threatened. I need to get you out of here. He could have said something to her, but to think that, oh, I'm just going to send you away. I'm going to stay back. You're going to be safe. You got to get to Judith. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please.
It has been 7 years. I have been away from my children, even though he don't know it's the second one. I have been away from my children for a couple of years. I have gone through 7 years without you. I went through all of this to find you. My friends died so I could find you. And you expect me to get on a boat and just leave?
Without you?
I left my kids.
Consequences of her trying.
Thank you. That part.
I left my kids.
For you.
For you. You getting in this motherfucking boat with me.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you. If you're not, I'm just going to show them how badass I am. Because I was like, when she was killing them walls, I was like, Michonne, I need you to take it down a notch.
Okay. No, but you know what it is? She's trying to beat that record.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even before then, like even when there was a little accident and the woman already saying you special, like you look like you a leader. You over there, Samurai Joe, throwing the head
right
to the other head. Come on.
I was like this.
And wait, why every time she had the stick, she stuck it back in her back? Like it was
that's what I'm saying.
She missed her sword. Every time she was like,
which is not good considering they told the CRM that the sword belonged to Nat.
Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, Michonne do not care.
She doesn't.
I know, but I need her to care because
we want her to be cautious. We want her to be safe, but she don't care. Her objective is Rick, period.
I know.
She don't give a fuck about none of these side missions, none of that other stuff. I came to find you. And now that I find you, I ain't leaving without you.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever that looked like, hook or crook, we getting up out of here.
I was like,
and he should have known better. You can't underestimate no black woman. She don't give a fuck what you talking about.
Not that black woman.
Not that black woman. I said we going home.
And also, here's the other thing. I'm gonna need Rick to stop looking at her like he a lost puppy dog every time she walked by. Like, dude, you're supposed to be on the down low. This is not helping because you looking at her like you want to take her clothes off right then and there. I need you to chill out, dude.
When they was in the woods and started kissing, I said, you stupid motherfuckers, if y'all get from behind this tree.
I had to pause my TV because I thought they were going to get caught. I could not watch for 15 minutes because
I thought they were going to do more. And I'm like, we don't have time for this. Okay.
I knew they weren't going to do more. But
we don't have time for this.
Like, I had to stop. And I was just sitting there, I was like, let me play a game or two of solitaire because I need to calm down because I'm so stressed right now. I was like, why are y'all kissing right now? I understand she right there. And like, she was mad at you and now she's letting you kiss. But they had me stressing this episode. I loved all the scenes. I loved when he told her to keep walking and she was looking like, oh, me and this motherfucker finna fight. She snatched at him. She looked like she was about to fight. And then he had a nerve to tell her, I told you if you love me, you would leave. She was looking at him like, ha, ha, ha. Oh, really? She walked off and he's looking like, oh, shit, I done pissed off. He was like, oh, wait, I haven't seen this Michonne in 7 years. I forgot how she could be when she's pissed off. I think Rick was like,
and
yeah.
You don't realize she's a mama bear now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point that he's missing.
Even more so than she was when he was there.
Judith Mama Bear, but now you got RJ. Mama Bear ain't playing. Mama Bear, look, he doing this, and she ain't hearing none of it.
She like,
because sir, you gonna meet this little boy. That's what she said. You gonna meet this little boy.
I'm telling y'all, they had me so stressed in this episode. They had me stressed. First of all, let's talk about these no kills. What the hell are y'all killing them with kill sticks in the face and they are still getting up? Well, that must, you know what? That must have been the ones that Michonne didn't kill.
Right. It's the sorry people. Well, she got to act like she's sorry, but she can't.
She can't hide that. I'm not sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. And I was like,
I mean, she gets in I'm seeing now. She gets into the pose like she ready for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
A B is not like that. They're like,
yeah.
Come on, Michonne. Come on.
Bring it down.
I need you to get those acting skills in play.
Just a little bit. Just a notch.
She's walking around. The walk is an A walk.
She can't get rid of that walk. There's no getting rid of that walk.
She's strutting. She just needs theme music to go with her.
Right. But if you think about the way that they're behaving, like Michelle, you said something earlier about we've seen this Rick before where he's like unsure and a little
timid,
scared or whatever. So we saw that after what happened in the circle with Negan. But you have to remember, even after that, when Rick was the one who was like, we got to play along, we got to do this, we got to do that. Michonne was always the one who was still defiant. She was the one who was like, no, we're not about to do this and blah, blah, blah. So obviously, yes, Rick is a strong person, but I really feel like Michonne is the backbone of that relationship. Had the roles been reversed and she was the one that had been taken to the CRM instead of Rick, Michonne probably would have been out there.
Oh, hell yeah.
She would have been gone.
Mm-hmm.
Rick, I think, even though, yes, he's trying to protect all the people around him, like he probably could have killed Jadis before now. Of course, he can't do it now because Jadis has said that she put information in a file so that when they look into her death, when they go to her apartment, they're going to find all this information about Alexandria and about the people.
How much I believe that though.
You know what? I believe it because Jadis is she's very calculating, and she has been calculating from the beginning, from the moment we met her. She was a specific way, and even when we found out like that little prehistoric talk or whatever it was they were doing with the garbage people, that was her made up language to kind of keep them in control. Jadis, yeah, I totally believe that she will follow through on that threat, because at this point you're threatening her security, you're threatening her position. This has been her goal from jump, to get into the CRM and then to like advance, because she really believes in what they're doing. If you're gonna threaten, I agree. I'm gonna threaten your people. Plus, because also, aside from Gabriel, I really don't give a fuck about none of them.
Right. And she petty. Y'all are not gonna have a happy ending, and I'm dead.
She's petty. You see how she keep messing with Rick? Oh, you should come by my apartment.
because
If you
they
don't
didn't
know-
let her have him when she said, when this is all over, I'm gonna bed him.
and you think that's really about to happen now when Michonne
So
is
now
right
she
now?
like, oh, I saved your life and y'all about to have a happy ending. I don't think
bullshit.
so.
But I love the fact that he told her she had a shit haircut.
Man,
How much you want to bet that line was improvised? I bet you that line was improvised. Yeah, you can save her life too. You'll be a hero with a shit haircut. And then the face he made, like, yeah, I said it. I know she was trying not to laugh. I bet you that was an improvised line. I know she was trying not to laugh. That's why she just looked at him with that nasty look and walked off. I'm sure when they cut, she probably burst out laughing like, really? You really went there? But y'all, Jada's, she got to go. And especially we see how she is in this show. And then you saw how she was in World Beyond as well. This bitch got to go.
Well,
Now,
I'm going to tell you
and
right
we
now.
still owe her one from World Beyond. So
yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, she's not going to die.
I know.
You think she's going to make it all the way to the end?
She's going to make it to the end and to something else.
Yes.
Okay. She's going to be, I do agree with that. Thorne, from this episode, I found out many things. I have theories.
Okay.
Okay. What's your theories? Come on.
Because Thorne is going to die. And it's going to be Rick who kills her. Because it's going to get where it's going to be tight. And she's going to think, oh, Rick's on my side. And she's not going to know that there's a relationship there. And she's going to try to kill Michonne for the third time. And this time, Rick got to sacrifice someone. And it's going to be Thorne. And she's going to be like, no.
Probably thought that too. But at the same time, I kind of feel like if Thorne finds out who Michonne actually is, that this is the person that Rick had been trying all those years to get to, because of the fact that she talked about her person at the beginning, I kind of feel like that might change her mind, because she might be like, look, against all odds, this man has been trying to get out. And as far as she knows from what Rick could have told her, like I said, Rick had no reason to think that anybody would have been looking for him, because he probably thought that they thought he died on the bridge.
Right, but she saw the briefing.
She went through all of this to get to him, and she actually found him. I feel like for Thorne, that might soften her a little bit.
But she saw the briefings.
Off, though.
Something's in the briefings that's going to keep her. That's what I'm saying. Something's in that briefing that just flipped the switch for her. So I'm feeling like there's going to be some fighting between the three of them.
I will say that there's going to be some fighting.
And Thorne's going to die by the hands of Rick, and he's going to be apologized because he's like, I know you're my friend, but that's my family.
That's not her friend. That's family. She said Rick is her
Rick going to
family.
say, you my friend, but that's my family.
And Rick gonna say, but that's my wife.
Yeah. So let's say he'll say, oh yeah, you're my family, but that's my wife.
Right.
Okay. And then I feel like Michonne is going to get into a swords fight with the what's his name?
Yes. I said either she was gonna kill him with that sword, or something was gonna happen that she get a hold to that sword. Yes.
I think they both gonna be in a swords fight.
With Bill?
Yes.
With Terry O'Quinn. Okay. All right.
Locke.
I know, right? Locke. You know that.
So I feel, and I think it's gonna be also a point where Rick is like still borderline, and Michonne's like, "Damn it, you have a son. Get your shit together."
I have a feeling that's about to come in this next episode.
Like she's just gonna blurt it out, like, "Dude, like
I need
really
you to
back in. It ain't just one kid. This is now two kids we have going on."
Right.
So that's my theory.
Okay.
Because that's gonna renew his drive to get the hell out.
Right. Oh, and one more, if y'all don't mind. I feel like because they're in the Cascades and they're getting ready for all of the commanders and leaders to come, that's when Michonne's gonna F it up for everyone. Like they gonna blow some stuff up or drop some bombs on them. I just feel it because you keep talking about this meeting and everyone's coming to this meeting.
All the big wigs from the
Everyone,
CRM.
right? I'm like, oh, okay. This is how
Yeah.
this is gonna go. That's how I'm feeling.
But see, I'm wondering
I
too,
agree
it's
with that.
like, I don't know, because I feel like if something of that magnitude happened, well, no, I was gonna say I feel like something like that would have been referenced in World Beyond. But again, I haven't had a chance to go back and watch that second season. So I know that there's some stuff that she talks about as far as Rick goes, but I can't remember if she was almost like speaking of him in past tense or if I got to go back and look at it. But I feel
But it
something of that
feels like
magnitude.
but I feel like it's now. So like I feel like it's up to date. So they wouldn't know. Like
Right.
it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Like it's like the kids are still out there doing their thing right now. If there was
Right,
another
because
season.
remember when it started, Omaha just got bombed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It hasn't been that long
that's
of a
when they first
change.
started on their journey.
Right. And then they've been with the Cascade for a while,
For
getting
years.
that together.
They said a year, it would take a year to get it together.
Yeah, and they still getting it together.
So maybe maybe all of this is running concurrently.
Mm-hmm.
And then okay.
So that's why they can still bomb it. But then my thing is, if that happens, who ends up in charge? So maybe they won't bomb everyone. I don't know. That's kind of complicated.
It's always one person that's late or missed the thing.
Yeah.
It's always one.
I feel like Bill is not going to show up to that thing. That's too that's almost like having the president, the vice president,
right,
all the cabinet members all in one spot.
But to
the aliens are about to attack. You can't do that.
There is no threat.
They own the air.
What would be the threat? Right.
That's true.
Them, there is no threat. Why wouldn't everybody show up?
The Delts are the only threat. And
what would the threat? And what would the threat be? And if y'all going ahead to make sure every space is cleaned out, why would they think anything else?
That's
they
true.
Wouldn't have a reason to.
No one else has helicopters.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And why would they think that these two people who in love is going to be their demise? Why would they think that?
You're right. Okay. There's something else that was mentioned that was interesting to me. So we've been talking about the way the CRM operates and whether or not they're noticing like the smaller communities or like the Commonwealths or that sort of thing. So Jadis mentions at the beginning of this episode, she literally tells Rick about how she got into the CRM. She was like, when me and my people, when I had people, were approached by some members of the CRM and they offered us an exchange. They give us supplies, we give them people. So I was like, okay, so they know that there are other communities out there that are operating. And of course, this community is in a garbage, they're in a landfill. And what is it that Jadis used to say about them? We take, but what is it? We don't bother, we just take. Like she was like, we're not going to try to force anything. We just observe. And if we see something around, we're going to kind of take it. So obviously they noticed that. They're like, oh, okay, this group is obviously not a threat. They're not going to come after us. They're going to give us what we need if we give them some supplies or whatever. But it also makes you wonder, what other communities do the CRM know about? And maybe I'm wondering if that's what all those markings were on the maps. Like, oh, this is a small community here. We're not going to bother them. We already know they got to know about Alexandria. They flew over it and Rick saw them. When Rick saw the helicopter was sitting there, probably observing or whatever. But again, nobody else ever said anything about a helicopter. Rick and Jadis, as far as we know, those were the only two people who know, except for Negan. And I seriously doubt if Negan went back and told anybody. So it makes me wonder, like, how far is the CRM's reach? How many other communities have the same kind of...
we already thought that Lance had some, possibly could have had some connection to the CRM.
Yeah.
Because that's the only reason I can think of that a community of 50,000, like I said, it's not a threat to them, but even with the caravan, those are people that were pulling horses and wagons. And I understand, yes, they were getting close to you, but they could have made a different turn. They could have gone somewhere else.
Yeah, you don't
But
know
it
what
wasn't.
direction they went.
And I watched after the episode, and I'm not sure who was talking. I'm not sure if it was the showrunner. I'm not sure, but he talked about that. He was like, the reason they did get bombed was because they were in the perimeter and they were going to be heading right into them, and they don't want any obstacles. However, I went back to an episode with Janice, and she was talking to Negan, and they made the deal for people, because that's the people she was going to turn into the CRM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I never thought about it, because you asked for like 12 people. I think it was 10 to 12 people.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, okay.
Yeah.
Because she had to deal with Rick, but Negan gave her a better deal with giving her more people.
I swear, she's such a
because she took Negan's deal.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then Rick tried to redo a deal with her.
Yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, weren't they going to give, when they the first time they took Gabriel, weren't they going to give Gabriel up too? When Rick,
what he was tied to the little thing.
Yeah. Wasn't that probably her, probably going to give him up?
Could be.
Probably. I would say yes.
That goddamn Jadis. When I say I'm so ready to see a fight between her and Michonne, especially now that Michonne knows she is there.
Yeah, and you saw that look
again. That whole pettiness. She was like, "Oh, she hasn't seen me yet. Oops, she's seen me now." Rick was like, "Let me get over here. Let me get over here."
He took off running. Rick
was like, "Let me stop World War III before it happens." Michonne was looking like, and stuff was starting to pop in Michonne's head. Like, oh, wait a minute. If she's here, stuff was starting to pop. And she was like, oh, I'm really about to whoop this bitch's ass.
Absolutely.
But she was like, oh, she saw me. I was like, you know what? I can't. I love the way she is played. Pollyanna is giving it. But oh my God, I cannot stand this bitch. I cannot stand her. But at the same time, I will say this too. You gotta give her credit for being resilient and being able to do what she's done to get where she is. You gotta admire that.
Yeah, but we also should have known since the beginning that from the whole double cross thing, that Jada's sweating shit.
We know this.
We knew that. So Rick, granted, she saved your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a minor detail,
which she never stops reminding him of.
Never.
Even though she was like, "But I did save your life," and I think she's having to keep telling him, because maybe in his mind, he's like, "You have me trapped here. I can never leave. I can't go back to my family. You might as well have left me to die on that riverbed, because this is not the kind of life I want." So maybe that's why she keeps trying to remind him, because he's already told, like, look, you didn't do me any favors. You really didn't. But man, let me tell you, this heifer got to go. She got to go. But again, the conversation that he was having with her after he tried to get Michonne out of there, and he was like, you got a shit haircut. That was just, I loved it. But it's so funny because she really thinks that she has Rick in a bind. She's like, okay, yeah, so if y'all try to escape, I'm gonna go kill everybody. And he comes back, he was like, she's gone, but I'm not. She was like, what do you mean she's gone? Look like she died trying to escape. She's gone. And she's not coming back. So you need to make sure that they think that she's dead. He had it all laid out. And I know she was looking at him like, you motherfucker, because she really thought she had him in a bind. But she also knows Michonne. She was like, she left here without you. I ain't believing that. Good for you, Jadis. You do got some brain cells that rub together. So you should already know it's about to be some shit.
Yeah.
And this was before Michonne saw you. Now, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. We got three more. We got 3 more episodes. I'm waiting for that fight. I'm waiting for that confrontation.
It's gonna be so good.
I need to see it. I do. Okay, so let's go back to the subject of Thorne, because
she gotta die. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She crossed a line. Period. She crossed the line.
Did you also see once Rick stood in her line of sight and stopped her from killing Michonne? When she put that gun down, she had tears coming from her eyes. She didn't want to do that. So that's why I feel like she can be turned, because she's not that, I'm trying to think.
Ruthless.
One, she's not as cold as Jadis. Jadis would have shot Michonne. She wouldn't have hesitated. She would have been like, oh. She wouldn't have hesitated. The same way she didn't hesitate to shoot Rick when all that stuff with the Saviors was going down. I don't think she's that cold-hearted. I do believe that she really believes in what she has learned and what they're trying to do, whatever that is. I believe she wants to stand on her beliefs, but I just don't know if I feel like it's a case of she's going to stand up for it to the point where I don't think she's going to do it.
I think so. Or she's going to turn them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you go back, when Rick saw that Michonne was still there, when they had that little conversation on the side of the building, he said the only way to get out is if you have somebody on the inside. So that would be the only thing that I could see her being that inside man, where she finds out what's going on. Okay, fine. I will help y'all escape. And not give him, you know what I'm saying? That would be the only reason I would see not to kill her. But that's, again, only if she can be turned.
Right.
Because if you need him, because you saw what Rick did for Michonne to say, oh, she dead. There's a body in the thing. You know, she's gone. There's no way. I just need you, Jadis, to say she gone.
Right.
So because number one, Thorne has Bill's ear now. So if she says they tried to escape, they got killed, why wouldn't he believe her?
Right. And you know what? And if they kill,
and he, to me, he would probably believe Thorne over Jadis. Like if Jadis was to counteract and say, well, no, they still alive, whatever. I think he would more so have more faith in Thorne's word than Jadis's word.
Yeah. See that?
And I think know. And I think if they kill everybody except for Bill and Thorne be next in line. And I can see that could be another theory, that she ends up, instead of her being in the middle of them escaping, she ends up helping them escape, cover it up. And now she's in charge. And
I don't know. I still feel like if anybody is going to be in charge, I really feel like it's going to be Jadis, especially seeing how much
they can't give Jadis that much power.
Huh?
They can't give Jadis that much power, because you just think of how the show would run, because Jadis knows where everything is, right? So if they make Jadis the head person, and she now goes after Rick to try to kill everybody in Alexandria, what sense?
Yeah, so that doesn't.
But you have to think about the way that things were on World Beyond as far as Jadis. Jadis was given a lot of authority to do a lot of things. Jadis was the one who uncovered that Huck was a traitor. She was the one who turned in Elizabeth.
So Jadis, she may die. I'm taking back my word. She's still alive, but they may end up killing her, or we think she's dead. And then later in another season or in another show, she turns out not to be.
I don't know. I feel like
we have to have a battle.
So
who is the battle going to be? Is it going to be Thorne, Jadis, or Bill? It got to be somebody.
I don't know. I just feel like
Somebody has to go.
I feel like Jadis, like if
But
we
it's gonna
do
have
a
to be.
pool, I
We're
would go
not.
for Jadis.
Yeah, we are not that invested in the other two, and we already have payback that we want for towards Jadis from when she traded on them in Alexandria for her killing her. Like she said, her hands ain't clean, and bitch, you got to die. All your karma need to come back and get you at one time.
But I think, like I said, if we were to choose, okay, between Bill, Thorne, Jadis, which one of them is going to make it out of this season? My money is on Jadis. I really think it's going to be her. Thorne, I feel like she might can be turned for the reasons I stated earlier, because she will see, okay, Rick was trying to get to this woman and this woman found him. She found her way inside these walls to come and get her man. I feel like that might sway Thorne, and maybe she would sacrifice herself to make sure that Michonne and Rick get out. That's kind of where I feel like her story is going to go. Bill, he's kind of up in the air, because again, we don't really know much about him aside from what we've seen from him in these couple of episodes, which hasn't been much. He's probably been on the screen less than 5 minutes in all 3 episodes. So he's a little bit more, I don't know. But yeah, I think Jadis is going to make it. I think Thorne may sacrifice herself.
But here's the thing, though. If Jadis makes it, how do they get home? Because Jadis is going to want to go and be petty.
Well, she might decide to go and be petty, but once they get home, they got the Commonwealth. They're not gonna send the whole military republic after them. They're gonna send a few people.
But if they try to send a helicopter with the chlorine gas.
Yeah, they're gonna take everybody out. She said she don't care. So that's why it can't be her, or something has to happen where she can't go after them. So we're going to see. But that scene where Rick realized that she didn't go home, that was my favorite scene afterwards, when he was like, okay, walk to the left, go this way so we can talk. And she took that helmet and threw it off and didn't say one word to that man. She didn't say one word. She just looked at him as he went to, well, you got to have somebody inside. Now I'm going to be your inside person. But I told you, if you loved me, you would go.
I told you what she was looking at him like.
In her mind, I hear it in her mind. If I love you, I would go. Why the hell would I come all this way just to go home after finding you? Are you really?
After 7
you really
years?
Didn't say that to me.
After 7 years?
Yeah, you really didn't say that to me. Okay.
That's why she had, you
and
see
she
the
walked
memes
away
all the time. You see the memes all the time. If you're in an argument with your woman and she does that little laugh, just give it up. You've lost the argument. It's over.
And she just walked away, and he was looking like,
God damn. Like I said, he's looking at her like, oh, I forgot about this side of Michonne. Like I haven't had to be on that side of her anger in 7 years, 8 years. So, I forgot about this. I done pissed her off. Rick's scared.
Don't forget, she hit you in the head and knocked your ass the hell out.
And then I felt bad, because then at this point she was like, I really should have went, because we just lost him. We have lost him.
But the good thing is, as she was saying in her little voiceover to Judith, she said, just when I thought, I was trying to figure out if this place had seduced him, if it had become more important than us, something happened. And that's when she sees the artist who had been drawing the little caricatures of her and Judith on the phones. And when she stops in front of his booth, he looks up and he looks back down and he looks back up at her like, oh my God, it's you. And she was like, you're the one that's been drawing me. Yes. She was like, every time he comes, every few months, he'd ask me to make a new one. He was like, you and the girl. He tried to get me to make one of a boy too, but I could never get it right for him. And she was like, Carl, his name was Carl. And he was like, you're here. Is she here? No. And he was like, you're so much open, you're so much more open than he was. He wouldn't use names for a long time. You're Michonne and she's Judith. And you could see Michonne's whole demeanor change. Like, oh, he didn't forget about us. It's not that he didn't stop loving us. He was still having hope. He was like, I told him something. She was like, I know what you told him. Thank you. It helped me. And then even though she seems like she's lost a little bit of hope, he tells her the same thing. Believe just a little longer. And I think she was like, okay, you know what? Fuck this. I'm about to get my man back. This is just the sign that I needed to say, okay, you know what? You got this. Look, you've been without him for 7, 8 years. A couple more days of trying to figure this out ain't gonna hurt. Mm-hmm. Now, I need you to stay alive during that time. I need you to stay alive.
Right.
Kind of chill the fuck out. But
also she has to remember it has been 8 years. Okay, we change. Mm-hmm. We don't really know. The man doesn't have his hand. Like, he's been through some stuff. Mm-hmm. If he really wanted to be with you guys, he would be with you. So something is happening. You don't know what trauma he has been through, what has happened to him. Just chill for a second, okay? Right. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the time when you had to knock him out when you were the little police officer at Alexander. He goes through his spouts of things, okay? When he was hallucinating his ex-wife. He has some difficulty sometimes when shit happens.
Yep.
So, ma'am, this. Give him a second.
And she in the first voiceover when she was like, I found him. I found the brave man. He's been trying to get back to us this whole time. But I still need to learn about these people and about what they did to him. She said, because I don't understand how they could keep someone like the brave man all this time. This dude cut off his hand trying to get to you.
Right.
Trust him when he says, we need to do this. We need to do that. You need to do that. Now, granted, I knew when he told her that she needed to leave, she wasn't going to go without him. At the end, when he was like, you're going back, and then I'm finding a way to get you out of here. This is over. What we had was broken. I was like, oh, he just flipped the switch in her, because you saw the way she was looking at him on that helicopter. She had the crazy like, oh, you think this is over? Oh, I got you over. Okay. She was looking. She had that smile. She was like, I was like,
I say it's over.
Thank you for all that I've been through to get to you,
sir.
Right. Like, Rick, I know you don't have much experience with Black women, but that should have told you right then and there. I might need to put my seatbelt on.
We're gonna go for a little ride. Let me talk to you over here for a minute.
No, we're gonna go for a little fly, for a little flight. Not on this helicopter. First of all, why are y'all, I understand they're military helicopters. Why are you flying in that kind of storm anyway? I understand Thorne was like, I don't want to see her anymore. Get her out of here. Take her. You got to take care of this, blah, 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 blah. Like, but I'm telling you, Thorne, you don't want to mess with that one. Now, I understand. Thorne might give her a run for her money. I'll give her that. But if Michonne is strong enough to push that thing out of the mud when you can't, baby, this ain't what you want.
Leave her alone.
This ain't what you want.
Right. You might want to rethink your life choices at this point.
Right. Because if you thought she was an A before, you now know she is an A. Because she took what you were supposed to do and she literally ran with it and got the job done.
And you mad.
Yeah.
You mad?
She broke protocol.
And I don't even think it was just that. I think it was the fact that Michonne stepped up, which is what leaders do. Yeah. And like she said, if you followed her to break protocol, how many other people will follow her? I think that's the thing she's worried about. She's on this fast track now to advance and to secure her place in this military. And I feel like she's threatened by Michonne, like, oh, she might be able to take my place. You know, oh, she's already on Major Bill's radar. She could be for, oh, that's an A, we might need to get rid of her. But he might also be looking at her like he's looking at Thorne, like he's apparently looking at Rick. Thorne says Bill wants to debrief you. He might be looking at her like, oh, she might be leadership material too. Let's see what we can do with her. And I feel like Thorne might be a little bit threatened by that.
But you know what? And this is the part that I think irritates me the most out of everything, because who was it that said that they were getting soft in being surrounded by the walls? It might have been
Carl.
when we first got to Alexander.
Carl.
So when he said that,
Carl and Carol. I think Carol said it first, and then Carl was like, yeah, I don't want us to get soft.
So in the instance when the 9 kills came back to life, how everybody was trying to get out the way so that they could shoot them. But for the people who have been out in the world, no, you're not wasting bullets.
Right.
You using other things. Same way when she pushed that machine. Like, let me kill what's around me. I don't need no gun to kill them. Let me do what I need to do to get this job done. Those people have become so comfortable within the walls and with the military's, support or whatever, that they are forgetting that little bit. You know what I mean? Those people have become soft to that, where I need the military to kill.
They don't want to get their hands dirty.
They don't want to get their hands dirty.
Right.
Whereas we know our people don't give a damn. Hey,
at all.
They cleared out Alexandria when they got overrun from the wolves. Like, this is a cakewalk. Pushing this bomb into the middle of the woods. This we done been through worse.
And not only that, she told you that she was out on her own for a long time. Why would you think that she wouldn't know how to do that kind of stuff? How does she stay alive? How does she stay alive? And that doesn't necessarily have to go with an A personality or a B personality, because there are some Bs who can probably do the same thing. I mean, we know we had some in our own group, but their instinct for survival is like, oh, I need to go and kill these walkers. Now, I may not want to lead. I don't want to be put in charge. Don't give me a command of nothing, but I'm going to do what Eugene. Even though I will say, I feel like Eugene could possibly be an A as well. Not necessarily for his fighting strength, but his mind would definitely make him an A. I mean, you see the way he infiltrated Negan's group and got Negan to completely trust him, and then what he did. Yeah, he's definitely an A, but he didn't start that way.
Right.
But see, Michonne has started, even when we first saw her on the screen, she walked around like an A. She can't help it. She don't even have to kill.
No.
Right.
And you can tell she an A.
Right.
But I need to know.
That is the problem right there. Because there are people who, like you said, are Bs, where, they can survive, but they still walk around looking like, I need a leader. She walking around like, I'm following no one
at all.
I just need to know how she kept her hair goop free after killing all those walkers. Because when you see her from Thorne's scope, there's blood flying everywhere. She's killing these walkers, but yet her hair is clean. I need to know her secret. Because Rick can't even stay clean like that.
Ask Michelle.
I know. I've said we'll learn the next episode. She has a special spray that she found at one of the hair places. That's when she keeps it nice and clean.
Okay, I'll take it. But when Thorne takes her to the old stadium, and when she's questioning her, she was like, yeah, so you are the type of person we call an A. Y'all don't usually stay around it. I was like, how you gonna say y'all when you was one? You was an A. But she was like, yeah, she said, see, you would come into the city, but you're not going to be content to just work. You'll be the one asking questions. You'll be the one wanting answers. She was like, so what if I told you there was a way for you to be able to do this? What would you say? And Michonne is looking because, of course, Thorne has her hand behind her back on a knife. Like if Michonne says the wrong thing, she's going to attack her. So, of course, Rick pulls out his gun because he's like, bitch, you ain't finna attack my wife.
You damn.
He's behind her. And Michonne is taking it in like she's looking dead at Thorne. But I feel like she sees Rick out her peripheral because even when the camera's on her, her focus never changes from Thorne. And then she was like, I'd say yes. And Thorne lets the knife go. And this is when she decides to bring Michonne in as a consignee to go help Rick and them clear from the Cascadia place that they have been, cleaning up and prepping for this summit that's apparently about to happen in a few days, from what she says. Mm-hmm. But I was like, when she turned around and she told Rick, she was like, but you had your gun drawn. I was like, how the hell did she hear that? Because he did that so quietly. Like, okay, let me take this gun out and put it right here.
She heard that.
She heard it.
She heard it.
And I have a feeling she probably has suspicions because she keeps asking Dana, who are you? Who are you? And I think she's asked Rick as well. I think she suspects there's more there to that story. But of course, she's not going to get an answer out of either one of them. So I think at this point, she's just going to play along. But I also feel like, I don't know. I kind of wonder if she's telling Rick the whole truth about all this stuff. Like, yes, we know she got a promotion, obviously. We know she probably does know the information about the echelon briefing. But I feel like, I don't know. I just kind of wonder if she's planting some information to see what they're gonna do with it. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I trust her right now.
I didn't get that vibe though.
You didn't?
I got that she definitely wants to succeed at all costs because she don't have shit else.
Mm-hmm.
So she definitely is on that. I gotta. How when people, I gotta make this work. This has to work for me because I don't have anything else. Right. I do believe she's on that path.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see her being a traitor. Well, she already a traitor. I don't see her being a double agent.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I just wondered if she was trying to not necessarily be a double agent against the CRM or anything, but I'm wondering if she's trying to trick Rick or Dana, quote unquote, Dana up to see which one of them is going to spill the beans first, because it's like, granted, she saved Rick's life, but I feel like from her perspective, Rick is mighty invested in this one particular person, even though he's been doing his best not to show it. But like I said, if Thorne is as observant as I think she is, she done caught him checking her out.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So
they ain't fucking discreet.
No,
that man can't hide it on his face. It's like a man who has been in the desert for years and he finally sees a drink of water. You can see that longing all over his face.
I can't wait to taste it. That's exactly where he's at.
He can't hide it. Now she does a better job of it.
Yes. She does.
But I feel like also because in her mind, at one point, she thought he was dead or he was supposed to be dead. She probably has more, I guess, practice. I don't know if I want to say that, but I think she can kind of focus her emotions more and just kind of be like, okay, I see you looking at me and I got this little smile, but I'm paying attention to what everybody else is doing. I feel like he's not being that careful because even when he's walking up behind her, go to the left, we can talk there, or go to the right, we can talk there, keep straight ahead. When he gave her the note, I was like, there's too many people around y'all. why are you not taking more care?
Or
in
the
this?
one time he was checking out of behind when she walked by and he still was turned looking.
Okay, you don't turn your ass around.
You like completely turned around looking.
Right.
Get one
Okay.
of these.
Right. Okay, sir. Okay.
I just need him to be. I understand that's your baby. You haven't seen her in years, and you are like so excited to be able to put your eyes on her. I get it, Rick. I get it. You left a magnificent woman behind, and you just like so excited that you get to see. I get it, but I need you to be a little more careful, especially when you got people like Thorne and people like Jadis who are paying attention to what you do and how you react to certain things. At some point, well, we already know Jadis knows. Jadis already read the room. She was like, oh, let me go ahead and put this provision in here because I already know you want to kill me. And I probably figured out that this bitch gonna want to kill me once she figures out I'm here. Let me go ahead and put this provision here and let you know that if I die, your family, your folks, everybody that you love will end up dead because she knows what Rick and Michonne together are capable of.
Yeah, she said it. She said it.
She witnessed it. She saw what they did against the Savior. She saw how that community, those people came together for them. So she already knows.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Thorne is probably going to figure this out real quick, especially after kind of like the previews of what we see in the next episode. Because
especially with them, I mean, period, just with the fact that they ain't on the plane no more. I mean, helicopter anymore.
Right.
Clue number one, like, what the hell happened?
Right. Like, they're in this helicopter. She, like I said, she's giving him this crazy look. And we get the voiceover where she's talking to Judas. She's like, Shoto, this is Daito. I'm sorry. I don't think we're going to make it back. And as she's saying this, she takes her seatbelt off. She grabs him, opens the door, and you hear him, no. She throws them out the helicopter. I was like, what in the fuck just happened? Like, we don't know how far up they are. We know that they obviously survived because we see the previews for the next episode. But I'm just,
and it's their show, so clearly we're not gonna have the lovers die.
But I was just like, I said, oh, she is like at her wit's end with him.
Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
He just told her it's over. What we had is broken.
Okay,
and she's
I'm about to see
like,
about this.
She said, bullshit.
She said, I'm going to show you broken. Let me throw your ass out this helicopter. Like,
I love you enough to throw you from the helicopter.
Don't piss off a Black woman, especially a Black woman who has traveled and
heaven and earth to find your ass.
Like I said, she done left her children. She done lost friends. She lost a year of her life trying to recover in that mall.
On the way to find you.
And you think man, please.
You think she's just gonna give up like that? Oh, you said go home, so go home. If I love you, I'll go home. Well, clearly I don't love your ass then, because guess who's here?
But you know they had to kill Rick to say that to her. But I feel
you
like
you can see the pain in his face when he said that. But you know, sometimes you have to say shit to motherfuckers for them to be like, fine, I'll leave. But she was like, okay.
Yeah, he picked the wrong one.
Wrong one.
Like, there's a reason why you married this woman. There's a reason why you were with this woman. It was because she was strong. She's a leader. You said it to her when you found her again. Don't let them see who you are, what you are. Don't let them see that you're strong. Don't let them see that you're a leader.
You know she's still a leader. Yeah. You know who she is.
Because ain't no beef in to do the shit that she did to find him. A B wouldn't have made it that far.
Nowhere near.
I'm sorry, his first wife wouldn't. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
You know what? And I saw somebody had made a comment about that. Oh, matter of fact, it was a comment that we got on our YouTube page. And the comment was like, Michonne has done this to find Rick. She left her children. She went through this. She went through that. She was like, Lori didn't even go, like, she took
Go back
Shane's
to the
word
hospital.
that Rick was gone and didn't even go check for herself. I
No,
was
she
like,
didn't.
well, you
No,
know,
she didn't.
let me
But
see.
that's different because that was his best friend, and I would definitely take his word. I wouldn't think that. I wouldn't know, to be honest with you, why like that was, and they could have been friends before we were even a couple. So
They
why
were.
would I?
Have been friends from high school.
So why would I not believe him? So I understand that. It'll be different if Shane had said, I don't know. And I'd be like, oh no, we're gonna go look for him. But
Yeah.
he said he went and he said he was dead. So I'm gonna give her something for that.
No.
If she had known that he did not know for sure, she would have went looking down the street. And that's how far she would have made it.
You know what? I'm about to read this comment. This is from Being Angelic 1000 on our YouTube page. She was commenting on the first episode of The Ones Who Live. She said, Michonne was a single mother of 2 and ran Alexandria until 6 years after the bridge. She was pregnant with Rick's child and was still looking for Rick along the river when Daryl turned up from wherever he disappeared to. He felt guilty for his hand in what took place, which caused Rick to be assumed dead. Maggie and Jesus were the other 2. He told Michonne he would search for Rick until he reached the ocean. Michonne was heavily pregnant when she had to go rescue Judith and the other children from her BFF and a lot of feral children who were in her charge. The only person with her was Daryl. None of the other parents from Alexandria were there. That was how she got the X-Scar on her back along with Daryl. Michonne had to take on her BFF and fight children of various ages by herself. And then, therefore, don't tell me she didn't care about her children. That was, everybody keeps saying Michonne, she left her children and blah, blah, blah. And, people have been giving her shit about it. So I agree with her there. And then she said that was the reason why strangers were no longer allowed to stay in Alexandria, also why she warned the other communities. They didn't listen, and that is why Alpha was able to slip into Hilltop unnoticed, hence the heads ending up on the sticks. Michonne only left Judith and Rick Jr. once she found the items, and that was 6 years after the bridge. And Judith told her to go. Daryl was in charge of the children once she was gone. Lori didn't look for Rick, just took Shane's word that Rick was dead. She was there with Carl, but whenever he was left in her charge, that woman didn't know where her child was from 1 minute to the next. And I was like, you know what?
I think she's telling the truth.
She's right.
She is. She is. So, okay. So if you had to go versus Lori versus Michonne as a wife, Michonne won that one.
Hands down.
Hands down. I mean, she went through hell to find him.
I mean, even just without the trauma and drama stuff. The first episode where we see Rick talking about Lori, he's talking about how she's always arguing with him, how it seems like he can never do anything right because she's always angry with him. She's saying stuff like, you don't care about us in front of Carl. Even the conversation we saw her having with her friend outside the bench when she was waiting for Carl to get out of school. She was admitting how she treated Rick. And she was like, he gets, he makes me so mad sometimes. And her friend was like, do you still love him? And she was like, I think I do. What?
So we're going to not take the stuff from before the apocalypse. We're not going to do that. That's unfair because everyone was different. So let's go afterwards with the verses.
Okay, so
you still was a horrible wife.
You really want to go afterwards?
She still was a horrible wife.
Your husband ain't been gone 2 months, and you already sleeping with the best friend.
That's true. That's what I said. She got 0 points for being a wife.
Michonne that's a whole look. We're not even gonna get on that conversation because we said it. You said it, Michelle, in the last episode. We're not gonna talk about the exes. This is about the true love story.
But our person who left the comment, and then also as a parent, Lori versus Michonne. Again, Michonne gets a point. So. And I probably was one of the ones that talked about her being a parent because she left the kids. But I know she left because they want their dad, and Judith wants her dad, and knowing that he's alive, like, let me go find him and bring him back.
Right.
Because RJ needs to meet. They need to meet. So I totally get that. But then they left him with Daryl, and then Daryl's off in France. Okay.
But Daryl didn't go to France on purpose. So we're not even
that's another story. However, Judith, who is now 22, raising her own baby, has taken care of
They're gonna go
RJ.
back to some fucking adults. Like, who is these people?
A full-on teenager.
Full on.
Right.
She in
Because Judith
college.
is not that little, she's not that little bitty anymore. Like
No,
she was
she's
when
not.
Michonne left
She's
her.
not. So, but just clearly this is a different type of love. You know what I'm saying? And no, they probably wouldn't have been together before the world's ended. They had two different paths. But
Right.
this world, they found their path together, and it's unstoppable. And it's sad that she had to lose some close loved ones, her boyfriend and child. He had to lose his horrible wife,
Mm-hmm.
but she had to go. And now he has found true love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I tell you. He finna find out though.
right, because it's true love about to kick his behind.
She about to kick his behind.
Yeah,
Those
she
previews
is.
from the next episode, and I'm excited because the next episode is the episode that Denai wrote. And that is the one that is supposed to be like the quote unquote love letter for the Michonne fans.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay. I don't know where this place is that they found. They walk in. And he was like, what is this place? She was like, we need a timeout. So we finna talk about this shit. And we see in the preview that he tells her Jadis has threatened to kill everyone we love if we try to escape. So at least he's gonna, I mean, right now they have time to have that conversation.
To actually have a conversation.
Yeah.
And clear all of this up.
Right.
Yeah.
So you need to tell me exactly what has happened while you've been here. Like, why are you so intent on sending me away while you stay? Because Jadis is the one who brought me here. Jadis is the reason why I have been stuck here. And Jadis has threatened to kill everyone in Alexandria if we escape. Now, I can at least let you escape and make it look like you died. You can go back home. Warn people, because you know she's gonna have to warn people, because you know Michonne, if she ever decided to go back to Alexandria without him, you know it's not gonna stay there, because you know when she tells Daryl, when she tells Carol, they're gonna be like, oh, we need to go rescue him.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how impossible
Carol by herself,
they're gonna try it. Right, they're gonna try it. Yeah, Carol is gonna put on that B personality so quick.
What?
And she can bring it down from the inside. But you know that's gonna happen. But he's gonna tell her, and she's gonna be like, okay, well, look, let me go ahead and drop this bomb on you. You got a son, you need to come home and me. I need that conversation to take place in the next episode.
And you know what? I thought when Rick was going to his bag and he was spreading all that stuff out on the floor, I thought he was gonna look at her journal.
And see, that's
too. I thought so too.
He put the journal in his bag and kept it, but he never, like, we haven't seen it. So we put it on the floor. I was like, oh shit. Like,
oh yeah, he's about to go through. I thought so too.
I really need, and I know he's probably not, because he's like, it's a journal. He's probably like, that's her personal. But yeah, I need him to drop it and it flips open to that page where she says, I love you and your brother. So I need some kind of conversation to happen in the next episode. Don't wait until after y'all escape to tell him that's too long. I need you to give him some motivation so that he will want to get out of there as well. And I know it'll come from that conversation, not just about Judith. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that she could tell him that will make him be like, oh, I gotta go. She could tell him about the fact that Judith got kidnapped and that she had to go. She can tell him all of that dark stuff. She doesn't need to tell him that yet. She does need to tell him he has a son so he can rewire the way he's thinking, like, oh, okay. Yeah, I need to go and see my children.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I don't think he'd be able to hold that in though.
I said that last week too, and I still do feel like if he has that knowledge, he might be a little more emotional. But given the situation he finds himself in now, especially with her having taken him off the helicopter, whatever headway he was making to come off of Bill's radar, as far as, oh, I don't know if I can trust you yet. I don't know if you're clear. that's going to be gone now, regardless of whether or not that was her intention. And he can probably say all these things. Oh, well, she did. He could say whatever. I think at this point, Rick's status in the CRM is done. It's done. If they find Rick and Michonne, especially if they find them together, it's going to be a fight. So I think that's out the window now. So I feel like now is the time for her to tell him, so that they can do what they can do what the fuck they got to do to get out of there. Because at this point, what is he going to go back to? Thorne, because Thorne is going to automatically know that Michonne had something to do with them disappearing off their helicopter.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. They could have got thrown from the bad weather.
It was turbulence.
Yeah.
You have to lift the lever on
it could be turbulence.
Right.
Turbulence.
Turbulence ain't got that much.
It shut the door open.
Yeah.
And the turbulence made the seatbelt come under.
So yeah, no, I think Rick is officially out of the CRM at this point. I don't think there's any going back for him.
We'll figure out a way to get back in.
I don't know, because it's very obvious to everyone Rick didn't want to be in there in the first place. So
they may look at it as they will look at it as an escape attempt if he doesn't come back. But if they find him and he'd be like, whatever, y'all drop me or some shit.
Because in that case, he would have to give Michonne up, or he would have to blame it on her, and he's not about to do that. He's not about to do that.
Well, I mean, he knows the way out because he found a way out for her.
It was the same way out he was going to take.
I know.
Speaking of which, when he goes into that tunnel and he looks down and there's, I guess, like a bag and maybe one of the dead soldiers, the soldier had written in the ground, "Tell them I'm sorry I lied." I need to know more about what that's about. You didn't see that, Michelle?
I did. I thought it said something else.
It said, "Tell them I'm sorry I lied."
All I could read was "tell them," and
I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought I said, "Tell them sorry I tried."
Oh, it maybe it was I tried, but I know it was the IED at the.
Yeah, I need to look at it because that's what I thought, and I was like, "Who did that?"
Hold on. Let me see if I can see it. Oh, and while we're talking about that tunnel, let's talk about how gross it was when it says lied. I'm sorry. You see LIE, and then you can see like a faded D. Because I'm looking at it right now. Tell them
what was that that was in front of him? Was that a bag of what?
It was a soldier.
I know, but it was something like in front of him, wasn't it?
Hold on, I think so.
Or was that the bag you're talking about?
It was. I thought it was a bag, but no, it was. Oh no, actually, yes, there was a bag. It was a bag. It's a soldier. A bag of canned goods. Yeah, there's canned goods in that. Because I'm looking at it now. You see the bag. There's a bag of canned goods, and then I don't even know if it's a soldier, but it's somebody and with looks like a knife, some type of knife.
What minute is that at?
That is at like 20 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay, let me see.
And it looks like something fell on that person and crushed them, and that's why they ended up dying. So I don't know, maybe it was somebody else who was trying to escape from there. I don't know. Cuz they were in that tunnel that he's down in.
Yes, canned goods.
I
see that. He got a knife. There was a knife.
Yeah.
But what was on them?
Don't know. That's something else interesting.
Okay, we're gonna figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I mean, it's probably nothing. It was probably just there. But again, I don't think it was a soldier, because I don't think, one, Rick wouldn't take her down the same tunnel that he went through. I don't think, because there were all those walkers, and I don't,
And then remember, he dropped his grenade down there. Remember the grenade he had? He ended up throwing it in the hole.
Yeah.
Because remember, he had already pulled the pin and he was gonna throw it.
Right.
But when the little girl came, he ain't had a pin no more, clearly. Mm-hmm. So he threw it down the hole.
I don't know if we'll have to figure that one out. Because I'm looking at the little map that he drew for her, and it says Spring Street. Hold on, let's see.
Yeah, and he tied all the walkers so she wouldn't have to kill them.
Oh, and when she had her sword, y'all know, yeah, I left you a little something.
and did you hear the joy in his voice when he read that part? I left you a little something, like, yeah. Okay, Broad Street subway line is where they are. He says there's 6 stations. So start Spring Garden, and he has that one circled. Then Rice Vine, City Hall, Walnut Locust, Lombard South, Ellsworth Federal, and then over on the right side, it says Delaware River, and then East. So he basically drew her a map, and they're in the subway, I guess, in Philadelphia, and he's trying to tell her where to go.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he tried, but I don't know why he thought she was just going to get in that boat.
I don't even know why he thought that. Because when she got
there, when you don't give an explanation. You could have given her an explanation. I have to make sure that you get out because you're already on their radar. They're suspicious of you. Jadis has, there's a threat to the community. He could have put that in the letter. Mm-hmm. Expecting her to be like, oh, okay, well, he's not coming. But yet he still says he loves me, but he expects me to leave him. Like, what the hell?
What world is he living in?
He wasn't, not necessarily he wasn't thinking clearly. I think, like I said, in his panic state, because not only do you have Jadis threatening on one end, you have Thorne telling him that Bill is suspicious of her, or that she's on his radar. What did she say? 100,000 consignees, and she's already on his radar. That's not good. That's not good at all. Mm-hmm. And I think at this point, Rick is just panicking. Rick is like, okay, you know what? Okafor was the one that was keeping me alive. I don't have that kind of end with Bill to where I can say, no, don't kill her, and he's not going to kill her. He was like, yeah, if Bill calls Michonne in, she's probably going to be dead first meeting. Mm-hmm. Because again, like you said, Michonne is not the one. She doesn't act demure. She doesn't act submissive. Even when she's standing there looking at them, when Thorne was talking to her about introducing herself and blah blah blah, the way she was looking at Thorne was like, bitch, say the wrong word, with that smile. I was like, yeah, he got to protect her. He got to get her out of there, because she's not gonna make it like that. She wouldn't even do that. Right. And like I said earlier, she didn't do that with Negan and the Saviors. Even after what she had seen, she was still defiant. She was still like, we ain't got to do this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Ain't about to change your feet.
So, this time out is about to be very interesting,
to say the least.
Like I said, I just need him. I need her to give him that news. I need them to go ahead, clear the air, Yeah, because here we are. We're already halfway through. I need for them to, these next 3 episodes, we need to make some things happen.
Oh, they will. You know they're gonna move fast.
Mm-hmm.
You already know they're gonna move fast.
So I'm so ready to see this next episode.
But I don't see her telling him about RJ.
You don't think so?
No. We want him to, but I don't think he would. I mean, I don't think she should.
You know what? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking it's when they go home.
Yeah. Once
and
it's being clear.
When these kids run up to them, and he's gonna be looking like,
who the fuck is this?
And then he's gonna piece it together.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I want you to meet RJ. And he's gonna be like, Rick Jr. Mind blown. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
I don't even think, I was gonna say.
And then we're gonna be like, oh my God.
Oh, I've already heard that the 6th episode is emotional, needs a lot of tissue, will be doing a lot of crying. So like I said, we need to watch that one together so we can all be sitting on the couch crying together, and Michelle Anthony won't be looking at you like you crazy.
But here's the thing though, how are they gonna do it? Because they're in the Commonwealth or whatnot. So we should see our old friends too, but they're not gonna have our old friends, are they?
You never know. I don't know. I would love to see it. I mean, we just need,
like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, is that Rick?
Right.
And everybody
be like, well, who the hell?
To me, everybody has to be there for the close of that story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you call everybody back for one day, everybody has to be there for the close of that.
Some people are not, because Maggie not going to. Yeah, Maggie's not going to.
Daryl won't be there.
Right. But maybe Carol will.
Mm-hmm. Because Carol is the one who had to tell Daryl that somebody was back. And like you said, maybe that is Rick and Michonne. Maybe she was trying to say Rick and Michonne are back.
They back.
So, I mean, that could be it. But I mean, even if they're not in Alexandria, or because the last place we saw Judith and RJ was in Commonwealth, that doesn't mean that they can't go back to Alexandria, because at this point, all of those communities.
That's true. That's true. So they could show up at Alexander and they're outside playing, or Judith is giving a defense of the arts class.
Right.
And they see them and then they run. And then he's like, well, who the hell is
You're gonna have to ask, because when Judith runs up and sees mom and RJ says mama,
yep,
you gonna know. I know, that's what I'm saying. So that's why we're gonna be like, oh, and she said, let me introduce you. This is gonna be great.
I'm gonna have this box of tissue at the ready because I already know that's gonna be ugly cry. That's gonna be snot running, crying. That's gonna be the
yeah.
Oh, I already know.
We're home.
If I was like that with I Found You,
yeah,
I need this reunion to happen. And I know I've heard like little sprinklings of things, and I think there was some kind of email that came from AMC, and I think it said it was asking whether we would want a second season of The Ones Who Live. Right. Something having to do with season 2. And I was like, I do, but at the same time I don't, because I need this to end. I don't want them to drag this out another season for to get that closure. I need to see Rick Grimes and his children together, and I need to see it within the next 3 weeks. I don't need to wait another year.
No. I think they're going to have another season of finding somebody else. I think they're going to get their happy ending in the end. I don't see them. That's the whole point of this series. I don't see them dragging this portion out. But it could be The Ones Who Live to find others. You know what I mean? So I totally do not see them dragging their love story past one season. It wouldn't make sense to. because we
Or
all
if they
pay
did, they do come back home and see their kids, and they go off to finish whatever they need to finish with the CRM
right,
or
but at
something.
least get home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can't, and they ain't gonna be able to shut down much of the CRM with their right hand sniper traipsing across Paris trying to find Daryl's ass.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but I mean,
there's so many scenarios that could play out, but I do say that they have to wrap up this initial story before they move in any direction for anything else.
agreed.
But they can move, we can move into new realms and new figuring out whatever, but only after you get these two motherfuckers back to Alexandria and reunite with their fucking kids.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yes, that is the goal. So, oh, okay. Do we have anything else we need to discuss on this episode? I'm ready for episode 4. I need to see, I need this conversation. I need to figure out what this is. I need to see these conversations. I need to what is it people call it? I need them to have that see Jesus meeting. Because I have a feeling she is about to lay the smack down on him.
Oh, together, sir. Number one, I'm not going nowhere without you. Number 2, I'm not going nowhere without you. Right. Number 3,
I'm not going nowhere without you.
So once you come to that realization that I'm not going nowhere without you, we can figure everything else out.
Right. Right. What is it she says in the promo? We don't have to be afraid. So
because she ain't strutting through the CRM like, who gonna say something?
Michonne is about ready to take all them out. Oh, y'all kept my man away from me and my children.
And he lost a hand in the process.
Hit list. There's about to be a reckoning.
Hell,
and its name is Michonne Grimes.
Her name is Michonne Grimes, baby.
Okay.
I'm here for it. I'm here for every piece of it.
Last thoughts?
I was happy to see Michonne reunited with her sword. I
know. It just seems weird with her without it.
Yeah.
It really does.
But for her to have it, I was like,
come on, samurai.
And now she had to stash it again. But you know it's stashed someplace you can get to it quick.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
She's like, I was without you once. It ain't gonna happen again.
Nah. It's probably down there in that subway somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
She hid it somewhere.
Yep. Or it's in that boat. She probably hit the boat again and put the sword in the boat.
Because you know she had to get back through. Remember, the walkers got through the turnstile, so she had to keep it. So she killed the walker.
Or she could have put it back in the locker.
Yeah, that's true.
Or yeah,
that's true. Probably in that locker.
She put everything back in the locker because she was like, "I'm not going nowhere, so let me put this back in here."
Right. I'm sitting here looking. Like I said, she's sitting here right when Thorne is calling her over to introduce herself and Sergeant Major Grimes. And she takes the little helmet off. She's got blood all on the front part, but she takes it off. Her hair is clear. There is no blood anywhere.
Michelle already explained that.
She's mad.
She has a special spray. Okay, I told you. Okay.
And so we don't get into any more wig talk. That is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social medias at Fandom Hybrid. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel. You can chat with us on our Discord channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.